What's up guys, Steve Buzogany, Philly's real estate agent. Today we're talking about something every Philadelphia home seller is going to face at some point, the home inspection. Buyers love them, sellers tolerate them, but the truth is, inspections don't have to be scary as long as you're prepared. So let's break down what actually matters, what you should fix, what you shouldn't, and when giving a credit is probably just the smarter move. First, let's talk about preparing for the home inspection. First things first, tackle the obvious, easy stuff. I'm talking about burnout light bulbs, loose handrails, drippy faucets, missing GFCI outlets, sticky windows, missing smoke detectors, that kind of stuff. None of this is really glamorous, but leaving it undone gives the inspector more to write about, which gives the buyer more to negotiate with. And it also can prevent the buyer from getting scared. A lot of buyers will see sellers as how a person does one thing is how a person does all things. If you do the little things right, they will think you did the big things right, which puts them more at ease. Second, let's make the house feel well cared for. Change your HVAC filter. Clean the gutters if you can. Make the basement look nice and clean and neat and organized. Buyers love a clean Philly basement. It is kind of weird. I guess it's kind of weird. But it is true. Going into a basement and it smells dry and it's neat and it's organized, that's way better than going down there and it smells like mold and mildew and it's spiders everywhere. Finally, make sure the inspector has access to everything. The attic, the electrical panel, the basement, crawl spaces. When inspectors get annoyed, their reports magically get longer. So it's just always better to make sure the inspector has access to things. Next, let's talk about what's worth fixing and what isn't. Let's start with the things that are worth fixing. Obviously, major safety items. Anything involving exposed wiring, anything loose, unstable, unsafe, anything like that. Plumbing leaks. A $10 fix can prevent a $1,000 credit request. Roof or moisture issues, definitely got to deal with those. Water in a Philly row home is like a bad ex, and we don't want to deal with that. It just keeps coming back if you ignore it. So let's just handle it and be done with it. Anything on the report will label as a safety hazard. And finally, anything on the report that the inspector is probably going to label as a safety hazard. Those words freak buyers out instantaneously. Now, let's talk about what's not worth fixing. So, old but functional systems. So maybe your heater's 14 years old. That's kind of normal as long as you take care of it and you service it and you have proof of and records that you have been taking care of it and in service records. That's fine. You don't need to go crazy and replace the whole thing and spend $3,000 to $5,000, $6,000 to get a new system. Cosmetic things. Let the buyer do their own paint job on the house. Trust me, they're gonna do it anyway. So you don't need to paint the whole house unless your house is like really messed up, but you really don't have to go crazy with all that. Other cosmetic items, any upgrades the buyer secretly wants to choose themselves. So they don't fall for the, maybe I should replace the appliances trap. You don't need to. If they're working and they're functional, you don't need to replace them. Now, let's talk about whether we should repair it or should we just give a credit. This is a very classic showdown here. So when should you give a credit instead of doing the actual repair? A credit makes more sense when you want speed. When you don't feel like chasing contractors, when the buyer is super picky, like a very particular buyer, or when the item involves like cosmetics or finishes, or if maybe you're not local. If you're selling from out of state and you're just not close by to manage contractors, give the money and let them handle it. As far as doing the repairs yourself, this makes the most sense when it's inexpensive, when it removes a negotiation point, or when it's something like emotionally scary. Like if it's like a water or a structural concern, then you can address it so that the buyer knows going into it that it's already handled, it's taken care of, here's the receipt, the proof of work, it's all done. And of course, you have to do the repair if the lender requires it. So in that case, you don't have a choice. Just get it done. Do what the lender said, put the handrail on the stairs or fix the concrete out front, whatever it is. Whatever the lender says, you're doing it or you're not selling it. End of story. In our fourth section, let's talk about what not to panic about as a seller. Philly inspection reports are very long, like 50 to 90 pages. So it's like extra innings at a Phillies game. Very long. So the typical comments you'll see in these inspection reports they'll include like possible knob and tube, signs of old moisture, roof near end of life, recommended specialist evaluation. These are all standard. This is normal stuff. They show up on almost every inspection report. So none of them mean that your house is falling apart and it's built on a sinkhole and the whole thing's gonna collapse. The fifth section is common seller mistakes. So let's talk about, here are the 3 big mistakes that we can go over so that you know to avoid them. Number 1, taking the report personally. Like, don't do this like pearl clutch. Oh my gosh. Like, it's not a judgment of you. It's just a tool that buyers are using to negotiate that they get into the house in good shape. Number 2, overfixing. Don't spend $8 grand trying to get ahead of the inspection when the buyer probably would have been happy with like a $900 credit request. Number 3, assuming buyers want perfection. They don't. They want flexibility. Credits give them that. Some buyers are particular and they do want perfection, in which case, give them the credit. That will make it perfect for them. It'll be done exactly the way they want it, by the contractor they want it done by. And after the sale, they won't come after you because you gave them the money to go mess it up or fix it themselves. So here's my final thoughts on it. Inspections in Philly row homes can feel dramatic, but they're completely manageable. So let's not freak out here. Fix the obvious stuff. Don't panic about the fact that it's a long report, and choose repairs versus credits in a strategic manner. Do that and you'll keep your sale on track and keep more money in your pocket. And as always, if you want someone who knows how to navigate Philly inspections without losing their mind, you know who to call.